Hi, welcome back to my channel, Crafting with Nordy. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I created this cash and card envelope tag set using one 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. Okay, so to get started, what I used for my original set was this cardstock by the Paper Studio. It's a pearlized cardstock. You get 36 sheets, you're gonna get 12 colors, 3 of each, and I've already cut this entire book down. And so I'm using just another sheet of cardstock from a different set. This one's thinner than the cardstock from this set. And the cardstock from this set is thicker. It's probably twice as thick as this one. And it scores really well. I haven't had any breakage or anything like that. Okay, so for our first piece, what we're gonna do is cut at 7 3/4. That piece aside, turn our piece sideways, cut it at 7 1/4. Okay. Now we got our 2 pieces here on the side, and with our long piece, we're going to cut this one at 7 3/4. Okay, so this is what your sheet of cardstock should look like now. You're going to have your biggest square here is going to be 7 3/4 by 7 1/4. And your other piece here is going to be 4 3/16 by 4 3/16. This piece here will be 4 3/16 by 7 3/4. And this piece here will be 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. Now what we're going to use for our cash envelope and our gift card envelope is going to be these two here. So I'm going to remove these two for now and set those aside. Okay, and I'm going to use my Recollection scoring board for this one. And on the 7 3/4 of an inch side, I'm going to score at 5 1/2 inches. And 2 inches. Now, like I said before, this is not the same cardstock that I used for the original set. This is a bit thinner. It still scores nicely, but this one's like double the thickness and it scores really well. Okay, so we scored that one, and we're gonna score on the 7 3/4 inch side of our smaller piece here, and we're gonna score it at 5 and at 2 inches also. Okay. Now I'm going to use my Fiskars box and envelope maker, and this opening right here, I made a mark about halfway through so I know where to line up, and that's how I'm going to decorate the corners. Okay, so this is the 7 1/4 of an inch side. I'm going to go about halfway where I made my mark to decorate that corner. And I'm going to do both ends. Okay, and then with the smaller piece, I'm going to do the short ends. Just like that. Okay, so now that we got that scored, our wider side here is going to be the part that folds up and gets glued. That's the part that our cash is going to go in. Okay. We're going to go ahead and fold that down, press it down. Like I said, the other cardstock is thicker. It's twice as thick as this, and it scores really, really well. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like. Now I have a piece of, I had a piece of card right here that I cut down to the size of $1. So then you can see how much space you have. So as long as you don't go past this point up here, you should be good. Okay, so you can see how much space you actually have for glue or tape. Now I've tried both the tape, the AdTech tape, and the Art Glitter glue, and they both work well. I like the Art Glitter glue because I can do a thinner line, and so my pocket isn't as tight. Once it's down, it won't be as tight, and it just kind of gives it a little bit more space to allow for putting the cash in and taking it out. Okay, and so what I do is I just get my center, and you only got to find your center once, and then you can just like use the finished one as your guide after that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, these holes, because if you put a bow in it, it's going to cover it up anyway. So if they're a little bit off, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Now I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers hole punch because I can see that dot that I made, and I can just get it centered and see what I'm doing. And so that was in the top flap, and now I'm folding it over the bottom flap, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Now I messed up on this part, I don't know how many stinking times, because I kept gluing it down before I made my hole punches. Now if you do that, don't panic. It's not ruined. You can always do like a Velcro sticker in there to keep it closed, and then you can just glue your bow on the outside, or just have the bow go through the 2 outside holes instead. However you want to do it. It'll be fine. Okay, so what you would do is you would feed your ribbon through the back here, and then have that, because that'll be easier, and then go ahead and tape or glue down your sides. And I come in about 1/8 of an inch and just do a thin line like so. Fold that down. And then I don't push out because I don't want my glue to come out, so I'm going to come back when I do that. And if you get a little bit that squeezes out, just swipe it up real quick. This stuff dries really clear, so don't stress it too much. But that's what I like about the Art Glitter glue. It comes with this like little metal tip that allows the glue to come out really thin. And so there's a little bit more control, and so you know you're not making like giant messes with it. You're not getting big globs. Okay, so you got that down. I just made this little card the size of $1, and I added a little notch in here so I could pull it in and out. But you can get, you know, kind of fill it out to see how much space you have. You can always use your scoring bone after you let this dry a little bit to kind of stretch it a little bit, and that'll help as well. Okay. And that's it for that one. And I like how these came out. The pearlescent on it looks really nice. It adds like that little extra touch. It, you know, dresses it up a little bit more. I think just keeping it simple just looks really elegant with the bow and all that. I added a tag just so that you can write a sentiment or somebody's name or whatever. You can even wax seal stamp it or whatever you want to do. Just like this is simple, plain is fine. It still looks really classy And but you can also dress it up with embellishments, and I'm really not good with doing embellishments, and there's so many people out there that are so good at it. And so if you're one of those people, you know, run with that. Go add your touch to it and just do your thing. I personally just am not good at that, so I just go for more of the simple route. Okay, so that's for that one. Now for our card, our gift card holding envelope, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold down the wider side. That's where our card's going to go in. And we're going to hole punch. Now, if you're like me when you do bows and they always go sideways on you. Now, we did the holes going this way. I fed my ribbon through. I tie my bow. It still goes sideways no matter what I do. And I'm really terrible at making bows. What I did was I did a hole on the top and the bottom. So your center is going to be about 2 1/8. So about 2 1/8 is where you're going to go with your center. Okay. And I'm going to try to find my center with that dot I made and just get a quick little guide. So on my top flap, I can go in about 1/2 inch. And this thing measures for you here, you can see. And so I just need to know where that just eyeball. Oh, no wonder I couldn't see. I was using the wrong side. Let's see. Much better. Okay, and then I'm going to go up. Now this is the bigger flap, the bottom flap, so I'm going to go the full length that I can. I'm just going to try and stay centered as best I could. It's not a big deal. That ribbon's going to cover it anyways. Okay, so on the big flap, I came in a whole inch on center, which is about 2 1/8. And from the top, I came up about 1/2 inch on center. Okay, and so you would feed your ribbon through the back here, have it hang over, and then you can put your card in here and then feed your ribbon through the front. Now, you can glue this down or tape it down the same as we did with the other envelope. And that's how I like to see my glue, nice and straight. Press that down really well. And the card fits in there just fine. I'll let this glue set a little bit more before I go messing with this. Okay, and like I said, you want to put your ribbon in first. If you want, you can take out a little notch in here with a circle punch and before you glue it up, and you can have a little notch in there if you like. Either way, it's going to look nice. But again, it's going to be something like that. Don't pay attention to my bows. I'm really terrible with bows. No matter what I do, they're just not, they don't like me. So, so there's that. And I think it looks really cute. You can add a tag to this one as well. Embellish it however you like. Like I said, if you don't and you just want to keep it like simple, it looks just really nice and elegant as well. Okay, now for our gift card holding tag. Now this one I created on Cricut, and it was a tag like this, and I did the hole punching afterwards. But for our other piece, I'll grab my other piece here. The other piece that was, remember we had our 7 3/4 by 7 1/4. We had our square, we had our long piece, and so we used these two pieces here in the corner, so now we got left the other two pieces. So this is going to be the piece for the tag. This is 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. Now, like I said, I created this one on Cricut, but if you don't have a Cricut, that's okay. I made a little template that you can just cut out and just make. But what I did was I went back into Cricut and I cut this part off. That way I can fit it into this piece when I went to cut it. But originally it's much longer. Okay, so for the template, it is 5 3/4 by 3 7/16 rectangle, and then another rectangle that's going to be 2.5 by 4 3/4. So 2.5 by 4 3/4. And with the bigger rectangle, you're going to come in 1.5 inches and just mark that line all the way down. Okay. And then with your 2.5 inch piece, you are going to mark a line from the bottom 3/8 of an inch up and mark that, and then 7/8 of an inch from the top and make that line. And so that's just a guideline to help you. And then you're going to place this on that 1.5 inch mark. So you're going to place this rectangle on that 1.5 inch mark and tape it all down. Okay. And then after that, go ahead and angle cut all these edges right here, just to take off some of that bulk. Okay. Now to get the tag shape on the top, before placing this rectangle on there, you can put it in a tag punch if you have one. That will give you the same shape. Otherwise, you can go from this corner here and come in 5/16 and make a point. Line up those 2 points with your ruler and make a line, and then just cut that angle out, and you can round your edges or not. It's up to you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place that template and make sure your top is really lined up. The bottom doesn't matter as much, but the top does, because that's your tag top. Okay, you're going to line that up. You can trace this out and cut it out. When you cut this piece, make your mark here, and so you can get a good straight cut here, because you can always use this piece to create something else. So that's what we're going to do as well. So make sure that this cut is good, so you have this extra piece nice and clean. And then you'll go ahead and cut around all this, and you'll get your shape. And then you're going to come down about 3/8 of an inch for your hole punch. Okay, so you'll just go on center with that and create a hole punch. Now, I already did one, both on the Cricut and a cutout. And I'll show you both of them. Now, this is the cutout that I used my template with, okay? So that was from the template, and this is what I used on the Cricut. Okay, my hole's a little bit bigger. On the Cricut, I'm doing a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch hole, but for the hole in this one, I just hole punched it with my We Are Memory Keepers hole punch. Now, for the bottom, the way that you're gonna assemble this is you're going to score from this corner to this corner, this corner to this corner, and this corner to this corner. Now we have a wider flap here and a shorter flap here. So you're gonna do the bottom, it's gonna come in first, and you're gonna add your a thin strip of glue. You're gonna fold in your short side, press that down, and then on your long side, you're gonna come in a little bit here in the corner and then come up, okay? And then you're gonna fold that down and press that all down, okay? And then once you get that done, you can use your hole punch here and it's got these little marks on the side that are gonna show you when you're halfway. So you can get a half circle. And then you're just gonna center that up to those lines. You're gonna line that up, and then you're gonna try and center it, and then just hole punch it. And it'll give you that little notch that you need for putting the gift card, you know, in and out. my tab in there isn't taped down yet, so like that. And it works nicely. Fits in there nice. You can add a ribbon, string, whatever you want to do. You can add a tag to this little thing on here to write somebody's name. It does, you know, it's up to you, or you can embellish these a little bit more if you like. Okay, so from the Cricut and cutting it by hand with the template. Now, if you want to see a video how I make the tags, I can show you that, but it's basically the same way as I showed you here. You're just gonna still use the same sizes, place them on top of each other, select them and weld them together, and then you can just slice out your corners and stuff like that. But I can do a video on that if you guys want a video on that. Just let me know in the comments below. Okay, so that's the third piece. And so far what we have is our cash envelope, our gift card envelope, our gift card tag holder, and now we have our final piece. Now this final piece you can do several different things with, and we still have our cutoff from the tag. So when I told you we do this little tag, we want to cut this little piece off. Okay, so we have this piece and this piece still, okay? Now there's a few different things you can do with this final piece, and I'm gonna show them to you right now. I think I lost one of my little pieces. But you can create 2 tags, and they will fit inside. These are pretty good sized tags too. So you can fit 2 tags in there. And you would just cut this in half, and then whatever, you can cut the tags out by hand, but if you have a tag punch, like I have this one, and I don't care for this shape right here, but I did like this one. So these are 2 inches. So these are cut down to 2 inches, and then that's where I got that one. I don't know what brand this punch is. So you can get 2 tags out of that. You can also create and this is cut, I believe, at 2.5 inches. What did I do with my ruler? I don't know what I did with my ruler. Oh. So this piece is 2.5 inches. So you're just gonna cut that at 2.5 inches, and then you're going to stick it, so I already cut it. You're gonna stick it short side, come in about halfway like we did with all the other ones, and cut those corners, okay? And this is the shape that you get. Now you can hole punch the sides if you want to, like that. You can hole punch the sides if you want to, and add ribbon through the back, and then tape your card down, and then have that ribbon come over, and you can tie the ribbon. Or you can create a little band like this that goes over it with that extra piece that you have left over. Because like I said, once we cut this at 2.5 inches, we are still gonna have about a 2-inch piece left over that we can use. And you can use that to create the little band that goes over, or you can use that to create another tag. So for that, and then we have one more idea for that final piece, another idea for that final piece, that final square. You can also do a library card. And what I did was I came in and I scored on that square 1/4 inch on each side. And then on the bottom, I came in 3/8 of an inch. Okay, and then I just cut the corners there off and cut this little edge off, and then just go ahead and punch the top corners to kind of tie everything in together. And so on the back end, on these flaps, you'll add double-sided tape And this can go inside a gift bag or on the outside of a gift bag. And you can add a card, a gift card to that. You can add, you know, any kind of card really. If you have another thinner card you want to add in there, you can do that and it'll fit. And because it's folded like this and we're not gluing this whole piece down inside, you have the full pocket width in there to use. So for that final square, you have 3 options, okay? And then that other piece that you have left over, you can create a 3rd tag if you want to. So 3 options for that final square. And so after that, our whole set is complete. And that ends up being our cash envelope, our gift card envelope, our gift card tag, and 3 tags, and that gives you a 3-piece set. Or you can have 1 tag that's left over from this and your library pocket, and that gives you a 5-piece set. Or you can do the gift card with the band, and that gives you another a different 5-piece set. Now, what I like about this one too is you can tape this down. You can even put the ribbon coming through the front and going through the back, and tape this down and still put the band over it, you know, and so you got the ribbon coming out the back, and you can place it on a small box if you want to, and add an embellishment on the front of this or whatever you like to do. There's a few different options. So that's what I came up with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wasn't trying to do a 12 by 12, like, you know, one sheet wonder kind of thing. I get a little bit overwhelmed with those sometimes because I'm not really good at card making. So I like trying to find ways to use up my cardstock. And when they do card making and they do those one sheet wonders and they cut all that out, I get really overwhelmed with all the pieces, and I'm just like, okay, you know, and then I end up having like a huge mess to clean up. And then I'm just like, okay, it's too much for me, and I like to keep it simple. So to me, this was a really simple way of doing it, because you just had 4 different shapes to work with, and you get something really, really pretty out of it. And like I said, I loved this cardstock. I think it just looks really, really nice. And so to create a set like this, where you're not just getting tags, you're getting multiple different things out of it that are useful. And for me, I am somebody who's really terrible at gift wrapping. And so things like this to add to something, to dress it up, I love it. And I'm always forgetting to get cards and stuff like that. And so when it's something like this that might have a little tag on it, like that, where I can write a sentiment or something, or put somebody's name on it and then write a little message on the back, you know, that's me. I'm always forgetting to get a greeting card. Like, I don't know why. I've always forgotten it. So that's what I like about these, and creating a set like this, that it's not just tags, it's different things that you could use. And it's a good way to organize gifts as well. You can always say like, oh, all the gifts with the red, you know, tag, those are for me, or all the gifts with the ivory tag are for so and so, you know. And so, you know, you can organize it like that if you want to. But I just think that these are super cute, and they are going to make a very nice, elegant looking set. And my plan is to do a few colors together, you know, in my set. So it'll be the envelope, everything will be together in that color, right? And so I'm not just going to have just red. I'll have 3 different colors. So there'll be 3 different envelopes, 3 different envelopes, 3 different tags, different tags in that color, 3 different these, and that will be a whole set. And it's a pretty good size set. And I think there's just so many ways that you can make it look really pretty. You don't have to tie the ribbon onto every card. You can just keep it on one as your example, and then just place the rest of the ribbon in the packaging for them to do that on their own. Otherwise, it kind of will probably make your packaging a little bit too bulky if you're tying a ribbon on every one. So you can always have the ribbon pre-cut and put in your packaging for everything. And so yeah, so I think it makes a really, really cute set. And I think that it's a useful set. And you know, and it looks by itself, I think it looks really elegant. So thank you again for watching this video. I know I haven't put out a video in quite a while. And so I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope it gave you some other ideas and on what you can do with this cardstock. Like I said, I had this book a long time and I was just like, I don't know what to do with it, you know? And so I started playing around with it and I thought it's just so pretty. I want to do something with it. And so I think this is a really good idea. And I can't remember, I was just watching videos like crazy and somebody was talking about their craft fair and how they just made simple gift card envelopes. And that was like the thing that sold. And I was like, because they're useful and they're cute, and you know, and when you go and you buy a gift card, you don't get it in anything cute like this, you know, you just get it on that flat piece of card, you know, whatever. And so it's like, you know, it just makes it that much more special. Like you put in a little bit of extra time into it, you know, and it just looks really, really nice. So I hope you guys like this video, and, you know, hit that like button if you did, and let me know if there's any other videos you'd like me to do. I'm not really good at coming up with ideas like over and over and over again. It takes me a while. So if you have any ideas for me, you know, let me know. If you have any questions for me, let me know down below. I try to get back to everybody. Again, thank you so much for watching. That's it for this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one.